In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can create animation into Godot, and then how we can also use the animation tree to get the right direction when we are moving in 4 direction. This video is a bit long, so I'm sorry for that, but it's a very important video because we need to create the animation, we need to create the animation tree, we need to set up everything right so our player can move and have the different animation set up nicely, specifically, for example, the sword animation that we're going to use in the next video. So it's important to make that video really precise, so that's why it's a long video. If you want the asset, everything is in the description, so you can just take a look. I put a link of everything in the description. So without further ado, let's get started. So for creating the animation, what we need to do is we need to go back to our scene where we have our player, and we need to go to the animation player that we have renamed anim in the last video here. Here you can see we have the window that pops up, and here we have a button called animation. And because we are making animation that goes in 4 directions, we're going to have a bunch of animations. So here we're going to need to create 4 different animation per type of animation. So we're going to have walk animation, up, down, left, right, idle animation, up, left, right, down, and so on and so on and so on. So we're going to create a bunch. So get ready for this. So for that, we're going to just click here, click on new, and we're going to first start with idle. So I'm going to start with idle up. Then here I'm going to click the button. It's going to be idle down, then button, then it's going to be idle right, then click on the button, new, idle left. Then we're going to do the same with the walk animation. We're going to do walk up, then we're going to do walk down, then we're going to click walk right, and then we're going to do walk left. We're going to do also the swirl animation. So the swirl is going to be swirled up, then we're going to have swirled down, then we're going to have swirled right, and then we're going to have swirled left. Then we need to create another 2 sets of animation. We're going to create a jump animation. So we're going to do jump up, then we're going to create jump down, then we're going to create the jump right, I think. I start to get lost. Jump down, jump right, jump up, okay, and so now we have the jump left. And we just need one last animation, which is our dead animation, and so for that we just need to tap dead, and that's it, because we're just going to use a simple animation for the dead animation. So now we need to basically create our animation. So for that we need to go back to our sprite, and so I'm just going to go back here on my on the left part of the screen. I'm just going to right click, and I'm going to show in file manager, click show in file manager, and so I'm just going to open my my spreadsheet, and you can see we have always the same logic. So first we start with the right, then down, then left, then up. That's how I've done the animation most of the time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to basically follow the same example. So here we're going to go to idle right, and we're going to go to the sprite. And because we're in the animation tab, now you can see we have a sort of little key icon that pops up here on the side of each element of the inspector. And so this is what we're going to use to key different animations. So here I'm going to go to frame, and I'm going to key. I'm not going to create a reset track. I'm going to click on create. I'm just increasing that handle basically. And so now I'm just going to key. Very often I have that sort of thing that pops up here. So I very often make a double. I don't know why, but anyway, so I'll come back here, delete it. Just gonna go back to the second. Voila. So here I can put now .6, because here I am at .6. So I can put .6, and I put that on loop by clicking that button here. And so now I'm just watching my animation. It is working well. So now I can go to idle down, and I'm basically gonna do the same thing. So for that I just need to come. It's here, the 6th one, create, then like this. Voila, I'm gonna put on .6 and loop, and I'm gonna test it. Okay, perfect. So now I need to go to idle left, and I'm gonna go back to 0. I'm gonna create. Voila, I'm gonna put that on .6, and I'm gonna put it on loop. Voila, and so now we need to do up. So for that, I just need to come here. I need to put idle up, and I need to go back to 0, and I need to just go here, create, and then voila. So now I can put .6 and I can put it on loop. So let's have a look. Okay, it works fine. So now we need to do basically the same for all the other animations. We're going to have like the walk animation. So we're not going to start with walk, right? And we're going to come here. So it's this one. This one is longer. So yeah, that's one. So this one is longer. So I'm just going to click like this. Voila. So it's stopped at .8. So that's fine. So we need to have that animation on loop as well. So that's good. So now we need to go to walk down, come back to 0, and here I can put myself at 32. Then I can key. Voila. .8, and I can put that on loop. Let's have a look. Okay, it works fine. Then I can just come back and come to walk left, and I can continue. Create. Voila. So now I can put .8, put it on loop, and that's good. Okay, that's fine. And so we just need to do walk down. So no, walk up, sorry. We need to come here and just need to put, it is this one, 48. So up. Voila. So now that we have that, we have the idle and walk animation that is set up. I just need to put it on .8 and put it on loop. Let's check. Yeah, it's good. So now we need to do the swirl. So we're going to do the swirl, right? The swirl is like less long, so that's fine. So it's just 4 animations. So this one, this one, this one, this one. This time we don't put it on loop because the swirl is going to be triggered. So we don't need to put it on loop, but we're just going to make sure it displays well. Okay. So now we're going to do swirl down. Come here, key. Voila. Put .4, not put it on loop, just making a quick check. It works. Then we're gonna do swirl left. Up, I'm just getting out of it like this. So yeah, swirl left like that. Voila. I think I missed some animation. Hold on. One up. I missed an animation here, I think. So come back here, up, up. Voila, I missed that animation right there. Up, voila. And so now it works fine. So .4, let's see. Okay, that's good. And so now we need swirl up, and we are almost done with the animation. So like this. Animation in Godot is one of the things that I think can still be improved, but I'm using the animation player because I'm going to be in need of it for the collision shape of the swirl. So that's why I'm using the animation player for this case. So now we're going to do the jump. So we're going to do jump right. Normally, yeah, it's that. So jump right. So what I'm going to do here is like I'm going to just create. Voila, I think it works fine. So okay, so it's .7. I'm not gonna put it on loop. I'm just gonna check. Okay, it works fine. So now we're gonna have like jump down normally. No, it's jump left this time. So up. So jump left, and I'm gonna key that. Voila, I'm gonna put it at .7. Let's have a look. Okay, works fine. Then we're gonna have jump down, I believe. So yes, up, voila. Voila, so it's .7. Let's have a look. Okay. And now we're gonna have jump up. And then we just have last one animation to do, and that's it. We have done. What have I done? So this one here, up, voila. So I need to come back like that, voila, up. Voila. So now I can put .7, and I'm good. And so now we just have the dead animation to do. So dead animation is the last one, so it's like 100, and then I can just, Voila, put it like this, and this one we're gonna display nicely too. Okay, perfect. So now we have set up all the animation. So now that we have created all those animation, now we need to set up the collision shape for the swirl, because for now we don't have anything here. So like I'm gonna go back into my swirl, I'm gonna go to swirl right, and where I have my animation here displayed, I want to have a collision shape that pops up at that moment and at that moment, and then is deactivated at that moment and at that moment. So here, what I need to do is like I need to go back to my player first, and I'm going to click on the plus, and I'm going to look this time for an area 2D. That area 2D, I'm just going to click on it and I'm going to rename it swirl. And on that area 2D, you can see we have a warning. We need to add a collision shape. So that's what we're going to do. So we click on the our area 2D that we have renamed swirl, and we're going to click on the plus, and we're going to attach this time a collision shape 2D. That collision shape has another warning. We need to have a shape. So we need to go here to the right and to click on empty and then select the collision shape. If you don't see that, it's because you are not on collision shape. So you need to click on it. So here empty. New rectangle shape, and that rectangle is popping up at the center of our sprite. So that's not what we want. We need to move it, but first I also need to make it a bit more visual. So what I want to do is like I want to change the color, so like this I can see right away which one is which. So with my collision shape here selected, here I have the debug color, as you can see, and so if I click on it I can change the color. So I'm gonna put something like this, and so now that I have done that, I can just click on my swirl area here, and I can click here on the move mode, and I can move it around here. And so because I'm moving the area and not just the collision shape follow the area. That's why I'm moving the swirl like this. So now I can also like reshape a bit the collision shape, and I can just for that go here, clicking on that select mode, and I can just like make it a little bit bigger, something like this. And so now that we have done that, we have our collision shape. But the problem is that we're gonna be need to move that collision shape quite a lot, because we have different animations. So right now we're on the right, but then when we are on the left, we need to have it on the left. And when we are up, we need to have it more here. And when we are down, we need to have it more around here. So for that, that's why we're gonna be in need to actually use the animation player that we have created here, the animation that we have created in our animation player, and we're gonna be able to key the position of our swirl and if it is activated or not. That's what we're gonna do now. So yeah, because I am on, I'm gonna go back to swirl right, because I already have set up everything for the swirl right. So here I'm gonna go back to 0, and I'm gonna go to my swirl here, and I'm just gonna go to transform, and I'm gonna key the position here, and I'm gonna tick off create reset track. So now I have this, and I can come there and I can just rekey that position. And now we need to do another things, which is we need this time to go back to our collision shape. We need to go back to 0, and then here we need to click on disable. It's gonna disable our collision shape at the beginning of our animation. So here I can tick on disable, and then I can tick on the key create, and it creates another track, as you can see. And then here, what I can do is I can like actually tick off the fact that it's disabled, so I'm turning it on. Then here I can continue to turning it on, and then here I can disable it again. So now that we have done that, we have the basic for the rest of the animation. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to do swirl left. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go back to my swirl, and I'm going to go back to the transform. And because my swirl is on the same logic, but on the other side, which I just need to put minus here, minus 23 like this. And so it's gonna just like change the position there. So here I need to make sure I'm on swirl, click on the key, and I'm gonna go back to the last animation, and I'm gonna click on the key. And so now I need to go back to the collision shape. I need to key the fact that it's disabled per default. Then I need to come here. This time I need to turn it on. Here I turn it on, and here I turn it off. So now we're going to do the same for swirl down. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to just come here on this animation, and I'm just going to go to my swirl, and I'm going to move it around here. But here what I would like to do is like I'm going to do something like this. So it's going to be nice enough, but I think, yeah, I'm going to leave it like this. It's going to be good enough for now. So I'm going to just come here. I'm going to put, what have I done? Yep, I've made a mistake. So up, I come back here. Well, so now for the swirl, we're going to do the same thing. So here, I'm going to come there, but you can see that if I go to that animation here, which is where like the collision shape is selected, it will be enabled. Here, if I put my collision shape here, it's quite big. So like I can leave it like this because it's not gonna collide with my player. But like if you want to have a specific type of collision with your player, this will not be ideal. Me, after that, I'm gonna use collision bus, and I'm gonna make sure that this collision shape doesn't collide with the player, so it's fine for that. But that's what you need to understand here. So here I have done the same thing again, like. So here I come here, and I'm moving this one like this right there. Voila. So here I just need to make sure that this time I key the position here, and I'm gonna come here, key that position, and then here I'm gonna just go to my collision shape, and I'm gonna add first on the zero, on the frame 0, make sure it's disabled. Then here make sure it is enabled, and this here disabled. And so now we have sword up. So for sword up, we're going to do basically the same thing. I'm going to take my sword. I'm just going to move it this time up. So I just need to take this one and move it there, something like this. And so now I can key. I can come key like this, tuck, come here, key. And then on 0.1, I'm going to just go to the collision shape. No, actually, here on the 0, I'm going to make sure it's disabled, and then here it is enabled, like that, and here I need to disable it back again. Okay, so now we have done that. That's good. So we have the collision shape, but now we're going to be in need to basically have something else, because now if we go back to like the other animation, so here for example we can see the collision shape is not animated per default, like it's not enabled, but it moves all over the place. This is something maybe it doesn't bother you, so like if it's the case, don't do it. But if it's the case, you also need to make like some adjustment here. For me it's fine, because honestly like it is disabled per default. It's not a big deal for me. So yes. And so now that we have set up all of this, that's good. But now we're gonna have one problem. I'm gonna show you. So I go to project for that, debug, and I'm gonna have tick on already a visible collision shape. So just tick it like this. And so now if you launch the game, you're gonna see that the collision shape is enabled per default. And so this can be a problem, because this you want it to collide with other things in your game, like for example a crate or like an enemy or something like this. And if it is enabled per default all the times, then it's gonna collide with everything around, so that's not good. So you can do that into the animation player, but there's a better way. So you just need to go to the player script, and here we're gonna use a built-in function in Godot that is called ready. So that's the function that is called at the launch of the game. And here what we can say, we can just access that sword collision shape function that we have just right there. If you hover it, you can see that you have property disabled. This is the name that we need to use into the code. So we're gonna get access through the sword node by tapping $sword, and Godot gonna propose me already, as you can see, sword/collision shape 2D. Then I'm gonna do dot disabled, and then I'm gonna set it equal to be true. So now, if I make sure that the debug is like on visible collision shape, if I launch the game, you're gonna see that it is disabled per default. So that's perfect. So now that we have done that, we can go to the next part of this video, which is about creating the animation tree. So that's what we're gonna do now. So for that, we need to go back to our player, and we're gonna click on the plus, and we're gonna look for our animation tree. At animation tree, I'm gonna just rename it anim_tree. And here you can see we have a warning. If I go over it, it says no root animation node for the graph is set. Path to an animation player node containing animation is not set. So we need to go to the right by clicking on animation on our animation tree, and then just watching the inspector to the right. Tree root is empty. We click on it, and we're going to add a new animation node state machine. Then it creates that window here where we're going to be able to create different state into those sort of like little black rectangle, and those little black rectangle gonna hold all our animation into a specific state. But for that we need to also make sure that we have the animation player that is right there, that is set up into the animation tree. So for that we need to go here, anim player, assign, and we're gonna just look for animation player, and then it's gonna get all the gonna have access to all the animation that we have into our animation player. Be aware that when you are activating an animation tree, it's override your animation player. So if you have to make a change into your animation player, for example, maybe you're not happy with like where the collision shape of the sword is set, for example, you need first to deactivate the animation tree, and then you can make the change into the animation player. If you try to make the change when the animation tree is on, it's not gonna work. As you can see right now, it is changing, so that's not gonna work. So here what we need to do is we just need to have all of this set up before, and then it will work fine. But the problem is, like you can see that I've done that on purpose. If I go to animation tree and I activate it, you can see it changed automatically the collision shape of our player, and this is normal. It's because it's not set in all our animation, but I'm gonna show you that later on. So now let's set up that animation tree. So we need to go to our animation tree, and here what we're gonna do is we're gonna right click and we're gonna add a blend space 2D. That blend space 2D, I'm gonna rename it walk. Then I'm gonna create another one, right click, add blend space 2D. That blend space 2D gonna be sword. Then I'm gonna right click, add blend space 2D. I'm gonna this time rename it idle. And then I'm gonna right click, add blend space 2D, and this one I'm gonna rename it jump. For now we're gonna start with idle, then we're gonna go to walk, and then we have swirl and jump. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go to our idle, and we're going to click on the little pencil here, and we have that graph that pops up there. That graph going to help us to set the direction, to set the animation in the right direction. So when we are going up, we are actually going down. When we are going down, we're actually going up, and here we are going to the left and to the right. So what we need to do is we need to click on that create point right there, and then we make a click, like not a right click, a left click, and we're going to add an animation, and you can see it propose now all the animation that we have access to. So here is going to be idle left, and it has created a point there. So now we're going to go here, and I'm going to just left click, add animation. It's going to be idle down. Then here I'm going to come left click, add animation. It's going to be idle right. You can see that now I start to make a graph, and here I'm going to go, I'm going to left click, add animation, and I'm going to do idle up. So now it has created the graph. And so what we can do is, like, we need to change the blend here to those three little dots. This is made specifically for 2D. And so now what we can do is, like, we can go to our anim tree, make sure it is on active, and if we go back to the root, we can play that little button here. And now I'm just gonna click on that little pencil, and I'm gonna just go, I think here, and I'm gonna move the point, and you can see that now it goes down, here left, here it goes down, those kind of things. So that's good. So we are like setting up the animation tree right. So now you can wonder, I'm just gonna show you how to reset that. So you just need to go to parameter, idle, and here we can put it at 0. So like this, it's perfectly back to its place. And so you can wonder now why the up is down and down is up. It's because of the matrix. So you can see on the, you can see here, for example, here we have 1. Here we have 1, here we have -1, and those kind of things. And so here we have -1. This one is for the y. So here, because we are -1, we are going to the left. And here on that side, we are going to 1, so we are going to the right. Here, we are on 1. So it means that when we are going on 1 on the y-axis, which is the vertical one, it means we are going down. And here you can see that we are on -1. So here it means that we need to go up, because when you are going up on the y-axis in programming, you're always going to negative. So that's why we are doing it this way. But now that we have created that, we don't have to worry too much about the fact that we need to set up a direction through code, because that's going to be made almost automatically. Now what we need to do is we need to do the same thing for the other blend space that we have created. So I need to come here on work, I'm going to click on the pencil, and I'm going to click here on create point. I'm going to left click, and here I'm going to look for my work left animation. Here at the top I'm going to look for my work down animation. Here to the right, left click, add animation, work right animation, and then here left click, add animation, and then work up, work up. So now what we can do is I can go back to root, I can play that blend space, I can click on the little pencil, and I can just, by using that blending position within space, I can see if it works fine. You can see here there's a little problems, and that little problems is a normal one because the blend space here is not set to the 3 little dot. So this is like a blend space, the 3 little dot is made specifically for 2D. So here you can see that now when I move, it goes fine. So now I can just go to parameter, work, and I can just set those to 0 and 0, and I just reset the little point where it is, and that's good. So now I can go to root, and I can do the same for my swirl. So right click, make sure those little dots are on 3 little dots, the blend space here, and so now I'm just gonna make sure that I'm on create point, and then I'm gonna left click, add animation, and I'm gonna do swirl left, then here add animation, swirl down, voila, then here swirl right, and then here swirl up. Again, we're going to make the same test. I'm going to go back to root, and I'm going to just click on swirl, but this time it's not going to loop. So because remember that we have set the animation on swirl to not be looping. So here I'm just going to click on that button here, and I'm just going to move that. You can see it works, it works. You also can see the collision shape works perfectly, so that's a good thing. And so now I can just go back to my swirl, I can reset the position here, and then I can just go to my jump. So the jump, I'm going to come here, I'm going to go back to create point, left click, add animation, and I'm going to do jump left to the top, I'm going to do jump down to the right, I'm going to do add animation, jump right, and here add animation, and it's going to be jump up. Blend space on those 3 little dots, and so now if I go back to root, I jump, is gonna work fine. So let's see, come here, I just click on this one here, I jump, I jump, I jump, and I jump. Perfect. So that's fine. So now I just need to go to my jump, and here I just need to reset it to 0. Voila, perfect. So now that we have done that, we can create connection. So for creating connection, what we can do is like we can click here on connect node, and we can make a transition that is immediate. And so here on start, we want to be to idle per default. So we just need to make a left click and connect it there. You can see that here my little connection is on green, so it means that it's on auto load per default. So this when the game gonna start, it gonna because that auto load sign here is ticked, it gonna go directly to that blend space. So now we need to make another transition. So here we need to just make our left click and go to work. But here we need to toggle off that button, because here we don't want to automatically be able to like transition automatically. Here we want to do a transition when we need it. And what we can do as well is like we can make a transition from work to idle, because we want to transition from idle to work when we are not working, when we are working, but when we are not working, we want to transition back to idle. So here, what I can do is like I can just go back to my select mode here. I can make sure that so I can access the parameter that we have here. So hold on, I'm just gonna make a little bit of space like this. So that's good. And so So here we have set up the transition nicely, and we need now to have transition set up for when we are maybe we are like not moving and we want to attack something, or maybe we are walking and we want to attack something. So what we need to do here, we need to create transition as well. So make sure that you connect the node, you come here, and then from sword you go back to idle, and from walk you go here, and from sword you go back to walk. The jump, we're not gonna do something with the swear because we don't want to be able to slash something while we are jumping. But what we can do with the swear is with the jump we can set up the idle and walk animation transition to the jump. So for that I just need to go back to my select mode. I'm just going to select all of this and move them down a little bit, and I'm going to move my jump blend space and I'm going to put it right there. And so now I'm going to click on the connect node button, and I'm going to make a transition from jump to idle, and from idle to jump, and then from jump to walk, and from walk to jump. And so now we have that sort of diamond shape animator here that we're going to be able to use through code. So how do we use that through code? Here we are into the root of our animation tree, and we can see we have transition set on immediate, and here we have play mode travel. This is what we're going to use for traveling through code to our animation and display the right animation. So we need to go back to our player script. I'm going to close the animation tree tab. So here what I need to do is I just need to make now a reference to my animation tree. So I need to go back at the top, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to do @onReady var. And here that var I'm gonna call it anim_tree, and I'm gonna set it equal to be $anim_tree. So here I'm just storing inside a variable my animation tree node that I have right there. And now that I have done that, I can just create a new variable in which will handle the state of the animation that we have inside the animation player, accessible for the animation tree. So for that, I just need to create a new variable here, and I'm gonna call it anim_state. And I'm going to set it equal to the variable I've created here, animation tree, so I can just copy it, .get, and here we're going to go and look for parameter playback right there. So we're going to use something that in programming is called a setGet. So we're going to get information and we're going to set them somewhere. So now that we have done that, what we need to do is we need to set the animation, because here those two lines of code are getting all the information Godot needs to be able to set properly which animation we're going to display in when we are moving left, right, and when we are not moving. So now we have done that, I can come here into my if input movement is not equal to, I can just put some space, and here I can access my anim state. So for accessing those animation state that I have here, I need to call the animation tree. So I need to come here, and I'm going to tap animation tree dot set parenthesis, and so now I'm going to look for parameters idle blend position. And here there's another thing that we need to do, is that we need also to have a value. You can see that it's like Godot is telling me void set property string name, so this is the name of my animation, and value is variant. The variant is the type of number we use for getting coordinates. And so here what Godot needs is basically just to have a reference to input movement, so he knows that the animation tree gonna use the number generated by the input movement as the variant. So here I just need to put comma input_movement, and that's it. And so now I can just copy that, and I can just come here anim_tree dot set, and this time I can look for parameter walk blend position, and then here I can put comma, and I can pass input movement. Then I can do the same, anim_tree. This time set, and this time we're gonna look for the sword blend position, and we're gonna just pass input movement. And lastly, we can do the same again, anim_tree, voila, dot set, and this time I'm gonna just reference my jump blend position, although I'm not gonna use it now, but like I'm gonna reference it already. And so here, because we have all of this, now Godot gonna know that when we are pressing a movement, we're gonna be in need to take a look at the input movement that has been pressed, and then we're gonna display the right animation in the right direction according to the movement that we have like collected. So here, because the movement are set when we are not equal to 0, so when we are pressing a key, here what we want is to move. So here what we need to do is we just need to call our animation to move. So for doing so, what we just need to do is like now we need to do anim underscore state dot travel, and here we need to travel to walk. And that's all that is. And so now that we have done that, we can do basically the same when we are not moving. So we can just copy that line, anim state. We don't recopy all of this, we just need to have that specific line, and we can put it here, and we can this time say idle. And normally this should work. So let's have a look. I'm gonna launch the game. It doesn't work. Why is that? It is because I haven't put my anim state to be into an onReady variable. So I need to just put onReady var, and now this is gonna work. So I'm just gonna close the debugger, close this, let's launch. And so now we have our stuff. But you can see that we have like weird animation at the beginning, and this is normal. It's because I think we have a problem into the animation tree, so I'm just gonna go back there. Ooh. So I'm gonna come here, and yes, that's what I was thinking. When you have like the green arrow here, this means that this is the animation that is display at launch, but here we have two. I think it's a bug that we have in Godot at the moment. So what I'm gonna do is like I'm just gonna delete this one, and I'm just gonna click on the connection node here, and I'm just gonna remake the idle to walk. And so now we don't have that green arrow here, and this will work. So let's have a look. So now you can see that it works fine, and then here when I move it works fine perfectly. So that's good. So we are going on the right direction there. So now what we need to do is we need to be setting up the sword animation, because for now we don't have a function that handles the sword, and we need also to after that deal with different animation state. And so for that we're going to create also a state machine. So that's what we're going to do in the next video, so I will see you there. So that's it for this video. I hope it has been helpful for you. If it's the case, don't hesitate to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and also check the link in the description if you want. I have courses, I have lots of things in the description. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.